Happy Monday, everybody. May 15, 2023. Welcome to Daily Stock Market Analysis. I hope you all had a great weekend and we are ready to start with the bank this week. Everything is happening as I expected. So, again, if you're liking the video, please hit the like button. I really appreciate it. And also, there is a PayPal link donation. If you're making money, you want to thank me, please donate. I would really appreciate your donations. All right, guys. So, you can see this is cycle low here. I told you guys over the weekend, this is the daily cycle low here. You can see this green cycle here. You can see this low happen here. If I show you on SPY, I was telling you we are expecting a bounce. Okay, so how nicely we're getting this bounce. SPY was up, S&P 500 hit 0.35%. Now we are getting this bounce. This bounce can end any moment. Okay, again, be very, very careful here. This bounce is about to end. Now this bounce can go, certainly there's a gap around 415. Also, there is a previous high here, 417. They can even do like a Wyckoff. Okay, worst case, they can even make it look like we are getting a breakout. They can make a slightly new high and then instantly dump. Okay, so worst case, if from here, from today's close on Monday, we can, if we go to this gap fill, that's 0.5%, 0.58. And if they want to make us crazy, if you want to trick us, let's say they make slightly new high, that's around 1.4 to 1.5%. Okay, so that's it, guys. So very, very limited upside. So you got to be very, very careful. Do not get too greedy. Do not get excited that we're getting a bounce and everything is going to break out. So this is the time to start shorting the market. Okay, start buying put options. The higher we go, the better it is. Perfect put option will be when we get this gap fill. Okay, so look to sell. Okay, you can buy inverse ETF. This is SPXS. This is the ETF, 3x leverage ETF. So you have to be very careful. This is not for the faint heart. So basically, you need to have a strong heart. So this was down. This is basically inverse, 3 times inverse of S&P 500. So also there's some decay. So it was down around 1%. So we can see what's happening on inverse ETF. Okay. There are some signs of a bounce on inverse ETF. So this is inverse. You can see what's going on in RSI. This is same concept of inverse. We're making a higher high on RSI. Okay. And also we're making higher high on PPO. Okay. You can see PPO is also going high. Sorry, this is a bit here like this. Okay. You can see PPO is also making higher high. RSI is also making higher high and we're getting lower lows. Okay. You can see this low is equal low. Okay, you're getting a higher high. So what you can do, if you want to be very, very careful, you can draw a trend line here. You can draw a trend line here if you want to be very conservative, or you can even do like this. Okay, draw a trend line, wait for a breakout of this signal. So as of today, if we break out around 17.81, that's your buy signal. So if you get that breakout, basically if you get a breakout, it's going to come out, back test and go higher. Okay, so this is usually a sign of a breakout. Okay, so these are some of the things you can do. Again, going back on SPY, just to recap, I'm expecting this bounce to fail anytime. It can stay here at these levels for the entire week. Let's go back to MES to show you what I'm expecting. So this bounce, this is MES, this is live futures market. Okay, you can see this cycle high. This is just starting. This cycle is just starting. So this cycle high is coming around Monday. Okay, so this whole week we can just chop around. You can see, I want to show you something here. You can see what happened here. You can see we were getting a low, and then on this cycle, cycles are about like 1 or 2 days here and there, but you want to get an idea. You can see we were getting a low, we got minor bounce before we getting another dump. Okay, so this bounce lasted a couple of days, so it's possible we can have a couple of days of upside here. So that's quite possible, and we can go and even fill this gap on SPY, which I showed you here. So just be careful. I think still a little bit time to short before shorting, but it's almost done, right? Like guys, it's about to, the market is about to break down. Okay, and you can see my high level projected target here around below 4,000 on MES and SPY. There's a gap fill around 395. I'm looking to buy here. Okay, those are my targets, and then we're going to get a massive bounce to retest previous highs, and then my final target from here, when we get a bounce, we're going to be around 427. All right, that's what I'm expecting. And this is the rotation chart from Thinkorswim. Let's review this. So you can see what's happening here. We are still in this 2% bounce zone. Okay, so it is possible we can get another 0.9% because we get usually 3% rotations as well. You can see we have every time we go in this box, this dotted box and purple line, we sell. Okay, so it's possible we can have a little bit. So this purple line starts around 41.90. So this is the 41.90 zone, 41.80 zone, and right now it's around, let's see, the price is around, let's see, 41.48. Okay, so we can get to get to 41.90, around 1% up, we can still get 1% bounce and we can sell off. Okay, so if we get 1% bounce on SPY, it's going to be from here, that's going to be probably the gap fill. Okay, gap fill, and then equal highs. Okay, so that's exactly what that could happen. I told you one scenario it could be we can make a new high, make it look like we're breaking out, and then we're going to dump next day. Okay, so look for signs of that. Okay, so get ready to short, get ready to buy SPXX, get ready to buy uh, put options, and then yeah, be 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 very ready. And it's these are times to take profits. These are not times to go long. Okay, these are times to be very careful. Okay, and when SPY sells, the entire market will go down. Okay, so be very careful in any stocks you're buying. This is not time to be hero. All right, so VIX again flat. So let's see. So again, today was from the cycle analysis, I expected a low. So it can be 1 or 2 days here and there, but again, anytime. I said SPY can be dumping anytime and VIX could be bouncing anytime. Okay, so you can even buy VXX ETF. You got to be very careful. This is for advanced traders. Okay, this also has DK. You can see it's selling minus 2.69 UVXY, which is also basically compared to VIX. So it's sometimes it's very difficult to kind of understand the logic behind VIX and these ETFs. So that's why it's sometimes it's a bit confusing. But this is the ETF which mimics VIX. So tomorrow, if you get like 5-10% bounce on VIX, this should be expected to go like 1.5 times more. So you can expect around 15% bounce on this. You can even buy call options on these ETFs. All right. So again, going back to VIX, expecting a bottom very soon. And you can see what's happening on VIX. We are making a new higher high. Again, you can see this is a new low, and you can see RSI made a higher high, and also PPO is making a higher high. Okay, so bullish momentum on VIX. All right, so that's an early indication of a reversal. Okay, so got to be very careful right now. All right, so let's go to MES chart or Nasdaq 100. Did it make a new high? Let's quickly look at triple Qs. Equal highs. All right, so let's zoom in a bit. You can see we are still in this wedge. You can see this purple wedge. We're still in this wedge. Market is just topping out. It's making a topping process. Now there is a gap around 330. You can see there's a gap here. If you go to 1 hour chart, you will see. And it is possible we can go higher to fill this gap before we dump. So we are almost towards the end of this pump. Okay. Very careful here. All right. So even if you look at PPO, let's see if you're making any divergences. You can see PPO, it also has a RSI has a divergence. PPO has a huge divergence. Okay, you can see we're making a new high on lower momentum on RSI and PPO. So this is an early indication of a reversal. Okay, so be very careful. You can see there is this trend line here, this white trend line. You can wait to see if this thing breaks. Also, you can also draw a secondary trend line like this purple line. You can also draw this, so you can wait for this to break. But this is a bearish rising wedge. Okay, and when it breaks, usually the target for this is you can take a distance from top to the bottom. So let's usually it's here like this. You can take this distance, and depending on when it breaks, it can go down here. Okay, so it could go below 300. So that's what we are expecting. So be very careful here. And again, you can see Apple is also making a topping process. You can see here Apple is also looks like it's breaking down right now. You can see it came down from the wedge. Again, huge bearish. Uh, you can see RSI and PPO, lot of negative momentum. Okay, new highs with low momentum. Okay, so we are just making a topping process. Do not be very greedy. Do not wait for last penny. When market goes up in stairs, and when it falls, it falls down in on like an elevator. Okay, so got to be very very careful here. So again, so we covered US 1100, and if I go to 1 hour chart, this is again, you can see we can make a new high. Even on 1 hour, we are having a divergence here. You can see even on 1 hour chart, huge divergence, although we did not make a new high. So even if we make a new high tomorrow, we came very close to it. Even if you make a new high, it's going to be on divergence. Okay, every high we are making, it's on a divergence. Okay, you can see we made a new high here on divergence. You can see we made a new high on divergence. So very very careful, guys. When we dumped, we just dumped 1 day straight down. All right. So this is it, guys. So be very very careful here. All right. Let's move along. US 30. US 30 is basically looking for, it looks like it already topped out, making lower lows, lower highs. You can say this is lower low, high, and I think it's already topped out. So I don't think it's going to break previous high here. I think it's just going down. All right. US 2000 basically bouncing a bit, but significant low is coming around June, early June. So I think this is going to top out very soon. And you can see this cycle high. You can see why it's bouncing. You can see US 2000, it has this cycle. The cycle is topping out this Friday. So it can chop around here and then eventually dump. It's going to be like a capitulation type event. Financials, banks, all Russell 2000 stocks going to go down very, very fast, and that will be a good area to buy. So looking to buy very very soon. So don't, there's still some time, you can still buy if you want, but I think there will be more downside, so wait for this dip before you get bullish on Russell 2000. Let's keep going. Oil had a bounce 1.71%, but my projection is again here, it's just a dead cat bounce, I think. So eventually we're going lower. So 5th June is when I'm expecting lows, at least equal lows or lower low. We'll see how it goes. Natural gas, massive bounce. Again, a 1 hour chart, if I go looking for these gaps to fill, until this gap is filled, I'm not bullish. We'll see how it goes. The cycle low is here, so I don't think we're going to get very bullish very soon. So this cycle is almost topping out here, so we could expect now go back to this filling this gap here, which I talked about. Bitcoin, exactly, if you look at my weekend videos, I told you we are expecting a little bit bounce. So it's going to bounce with S&P 500, a little bit more bounce, and then going to go down. This is the buy zone. Buy zone is around 23,000 to 2600 to 26,000. Anywhere here will be a good area to buy. Ethereum, basically same thing, following Bitcoin, getting a bounce. It can go a little bit more higher. Then going to go down around 1600 would be ideal area to buy. This buy area, it's already in buys area, but I think it's going to go lower because Bitcoin is going lower. So I think most likely buy area is around 1700 to 1600. Okay. Gold is kind of flat. Again, I'm not looking for bullish in gold. I'm looking for lower lows, at least to 1900 level. I'm not buying until gold goes to 1900. This is a big support area here. Okay, it can be a little bit low here. So I am looking to buy around here. I'm not going to buy. I will let it do its own thing until gold goes back to my zone. I'm not buying. Silver is also 0.49%, sold off heavily couple of days ago, broke previous support. It is showing like in a buy zone, but I think with gold getting more weakness, I do expect silver to be a little bit more weaker. All right. So again, I think it looks like it might have topped out, but we'll see. We'll follow gold to get direction on silver. Dollar is breaking down. Again, nothing changed here. Looking for lows here. Wheat is bouncing, which is a bit surprising, but let's see if it already made a bottom. I do expect again on this resistance. You can see this big resistance here. It's right on resistance. Let's see if it breaks. If it breaks, it's a big deal. If not, then I think this top is going to be in. I'm expecting new lows or equal lows on 8th of June. We'll monitor and see how it goes. Wheat is the ETF you can buy if you want to buy wheat. Okay, this is mortgage rate TNX. Let's see how it's doing with cycle. It should be now topping out very soon. Should be dropping here based on cycle, and then gonna try for another rally. So we'll see how mortgage rates are doing. And bond market ZN1. Let's see how it's doing. It's bouncing with cycle. Okay, so it's bouncing with cycle. Should top out very soon, and then go again down based on the cycle. Okay, so just looking for the stop and then going down. And then look at gold miners, GDX, big support zone, bouncing from the support zone. You can see here, if I draw a rectangle here, big support here, okay, if I zoom out a bit, you can see, not zoom out, I extend this a bit, you can see it's right on support. I'm expecting this bounce to fail and eventually go lower here with gold. And all the other sectors, energy sector, XLE sector, looking for lower prices, this gap here, looking for that gap to fill. XLU, again down, going down, looking for these gaps to fill to the downside. Let's go to 1 hour chart and see if this gap is filled. Yeah, this gap is filled, so we can get rid of this. So looking for lower prices on XLU. XLV kind of flat, but looking for lower prices with S&P 500 topping out very soon. Looking for lower prices here. XLF bouncing, I think it's just a dead cat bounce. So again, this cycle, you can see this cycle high is going here. So again, financial is something which can drive S&P 500 maybe a little bit more higher. So you can see cycle high is going here. So eventually it's going to go back to previous lows or lower low. I'm expecting industrial 0.49 again should be topping out very soon and then going lower. Real estate 0.19% down, again topping out very soon and going lower. Okay, and Tesla, let's quickly look at Tesla. Tesla is something you can see cycle low is coming here. So I don't know if you already made the high, it's going lower. It's possible there's a gap here around 161. If I go to 1 hour chart, you can see there's a gap here around 161. I don't see any divergences yet. So it is possible we're going to come down and fill this gap. So Tesla chart is looking very, very weak. And yeah, I don't know how to be bullish on this chart. For to be bullish, it really needs to break above this 184. Okay, there's also a gap here. If I go to 1 hour chart, actually there's a gap here. This massive gap, the two gaps, 180, 184, and there's also bottom gap around 161. And also, if I go to daily chart, there's also a gap around here 145.4. So it's in the middle of two gaps. Okay, I have no direction on Tesla. We'll see how it goes. All the news in Tesla is really bearish. I think there was another news where they had to upgrade software on I think more than I don't know 100,000 vehicles in China. So that came very, very bad through stock market as well. So I was trying to find if I can find this news here, but I don't know where it is. Okay. Anyhow, going back to our charts, let's go to daily chart, and Apple already covered. So let's go back here to Apple. Apple basically forming a top, looking for lower prices. Looks like I already made a top. Lower, you can see momentum. RSI is going lower. PPO is going lower. Looking for lower prices on Apple. Google looks like it already made a top. There's a big gap here to fill around 113. There's another gap around 108, and there's another gap around 92. We'll see how low we get. So looks like it's topping. It topped out here. So Google does this a lot of time. You can see here also, you made a new high, just rocket shoot and then go down. Again, here also same thing, rocket up, go down. Here also same thing. So is this the top? We will know very soon. Microsoft kind of flat, basically looking for lower prices. Let's go to 1 hour chart. Let's see if it filled this gap. No, it still did not fill. So it's possible we can go a little bit more higher, fill this gap and then go down. Snowflake very, very bullish. Today actually it filled this gap. There was this gap around here around 172-ish. So it filled this gap, so we can get rid of that. And there are multiple gaps to the downside, and also cycle top is coming here, so it's topping out very soon. I think maybe earnings will be very bad and we're going to get a dump to, this is a cycle, so looking for dump after earnings. Meta was up 2%, but again, I think you can, if I can extend this wedge, again, it's just, it's not able to cross above this, okay, like this. I think it's just right on the edge, so we'll see how it goes, but no reason to be bullish on Meta here. I think I'm looking for a lot of gaps downside, or looking for these gaps to fill. Amazon 0.85, multiple gaps. There's a gap here around 0.06, also 98 and 97. Looks like making a topping process. It's still not able to go above this previous high around 114. So keep an eye on that, okay? Netflix down more than 1%, but it's still holding this trend line, this white trend line. As long as it's on this trend line, it's all good. Wait for break of this trend line to short. Okay, do not short until we break this trend line. Nvidia was up. Again, I think Nvidia is also making a top here with huge divergence on RSI and PPO. You can see RSI is going lower, PPO is going lower, so you got to be very, very careful on Nvidia, guys. I think it's going lower, and my target is below 200, okay, or around 200 here. So that's my target. This gap fill is my major target. AMD was up, but again on this sell zone, you can see this big sell zone, this whole resistance area, this red area. So it's topping out, and it's in a resistance zone basically. Look to short AMD here. Okay, I think Andrej, he asked me for reviewing some of the stocks. I'm going to review it now. So Disney, again, bouncing. I told you guys this is the buy zone, and we are bouncing from the buy zone. Disney is a good stock to hold in long-term portfolio. This is a weekly chart. You can see we are in the support area. So Disney with S&P 500 going down, it can go down maybe a little bit more lower, but there's not a lot of downside. This is the zone to buy. You can see this in 2014. Then 2015, 2016, 2016 here, then 2020 COVID crash we came here, then 2022 December, now we are again here. Okay, one thing to note, you can see there is also divergences filling, so even if you make a new low, I think it's going to be on higher momentum on basically PPO. So you can see this is going higher, you can see RSI is going higher, so even if it goes lower, even it makes equal lows or low lows, I think it's still going to be some divergence on PPO and RSI. So Disney is a good long-term hold right now, and I think uh, you're making money, so this is good. Again, there's also a gap here. You can see all these yellow lines are gaps on Disney. So those will be my targets. Okay, so eventually I think all these gaps will be filled. Most of this 90% of the gaps will be filled. So if you can hold for long, I think summer is coming, so there could be some bullish news coming during earnings around August. So it's gonna be, I think Disney, there's limited downside with a lot of upside. Okay, PayPal is another one to review. You can see what's happening on PayPal. If this is daily chart, if I zoom out, bullish divergence on RSI and PPO, price is going lower, but bullish divergence. Now, one thing I want to do, I don't want to, this is like a falling knife. So you got to be very careful before you buy. You can, one thing to do is you can wait for this trend line to break. So wait for this price to go above this before you buy. Before I go there, I want to show you something on weekly, which is very bothering me. You can see on weekly on PayPal, there's not a lot of support here. You can see we went on straight line, okay, from this time April 10th, April 17th to 27th November 17th, just straight line up. Okay, these vertical moves are not really good. Whenever I see these vertical moves, they get retraced very, very soon. Okay, for example, here, okay, we went up straight line, here straight line, and then we went down straight line. Okay, this up straight line came down here straight line, again up straight line, down straight line. So this straight line up can go straight line down. Okay, and unfortunately on PayPal there's not a lot of support in this area. The next support comes around $45. Okay, so that's what I'm saying. Do not get too bullish on PayPal. I don't know if you're holding stock or not, but wait for this trend line to break, because it's possible it can just chop around here and keep going lower. Although there is a gap here around 75, it can go here up to this gap. It is quite possible. From here it can go up to even go to this gap and then break down. But what I'm trying to tell you is be very, very careful. I wouldn't be buying until I saw a reversal. I want to see something like this: gap fill, back test, again, sorry, gap fill, back test, and then go higher. Okay, this is the price action I want to see before I get bullish on PayPal. But yeah, as of now, with S&P 500 going lower, it is quite possible there's a lot of more downside than upside. So gotta be careful on PayPal. I just want to get rid of this. Sophie, there's not a lot of data on, so it's not easy to chart Sophie, but I'll try to do what I can. This is daily chart, and you can see it's coming right in the support area. This is around December last year. Support area is around, this is right now where that is. So I think the only issue is I don't see any divergence. Okay, I want to see a new low made. Actually, let's see if PPO is showing some divergence, little bit of divergence out here. but and it is in the buy zone. Okay, this is the lowest Sophie was before. Okay, and now also it's coming here. I really would like to see a little bit more downside. Okay, in my ideal scenario, I want to see a new low compared to this previous low. Okay, I want to see a new low and then bounce. But this is in the buy zone, so you can. This is something also. If you know, I don't know a lot about this company, but if you know a lot and if you're bullish, then it's. I think this is a perfect zone to buy. It can stay in this zone, and this gap is also one other thing you can do. You can draw a trend line like this if you want to be very careful. Wait for this trend line to break, then come buy on the back test and then go higher. Okay, so you can wait for this back test here to buy. Again, there is also this gap here. If I zoom in, today was created a gap here, so that gap can also be filled anytime. But if I were you, I think there's some little bit more downside coming. This is the area which, especially with S&P 500 going lower, look to buy previous lows, 52 weeks lows, or even slightly lower. And when that happens, you can have these two indicators, RSI and PP. I would like to see some divergences building up. Okay, right now they're showing slight divergence here. Okay, slight divergence. You can see we made a new low on higher RSI momentum, and even on PPO there's no momentum. Okay, that's one of the, actually from here it's showing some bullish momentum. Okay, but RSI is just showing here. So ideally I would like to see some more of that. Okay, more going down price with higher momentum on RSI and PPO. That will make a base for Sophie, and then you can buy Sophie on that. Okay, guys, that's it from me. And again, guys, if you like my videos, please hit the like button. And I wish you guys a happy rest of the Monday. I will see you tomorrow.